It sounds dangerous. Anything with the word plasma in it sounds dangerous.
That's what we want. Safe tools aren't fun.
We blew the bit off. Let's go.
10 mil.
What do you want?
Socket, 10 mil.
10 mil. Okay.
Yeah.
10 mil. Where's the fucking 10 mil?
Where are they? I need them now.
Right, sorry it's been quite a while since the last episode. I've been too busy reviewing cars for the channel. So I do hope you enjoyed the Ioniq 5N, which was a ridiculously fun car. Now you might be disappointed to know the electric 928 will only have about 40% of the torque and a quarter of the horsepower of that beast. But it should be just about a ton lighter, so I think it'll still go okay. Who knows? All will be revealed in the fullness of time. So where are we up to with the 928? Well, two big jobs for Matt. One, try to find the right position for the motor and make up 3 really solid engine mounts and get that thing located. 2, the old Porsche brakes have been a pain in the ass. We've had to replace virtually everything except the master cylinder, so hopefully we can finally bleed the system and get a strong pedal. And in the meantime, I can keep finding things to strip out of the 928. I'm figuring the lighter the better. Stu, can you just do that one there? Thanks. While I do this one. And I might work a bit quicker if there's 2 of me.
Yeah, coming. Okay, thanks. Okay, 17. Love your work, Stu.
There are people who say that real Porsche are rear-engined. Well, having owned front-engined, mid-engined and rear-engined, and water-cooled and air-cooled Porsches, it's perfectly fine to have the engine in the back, as we are going to do with this 928. 928s with the engine in the front, perfectly fine. Small, isn't it, compared to the old lump? This space is going to be entirely filled with electronics, cooling, God knows what, fuse boxes. It's going to be chockers. You saw Matt working on the engine mounts. We're going to continue today. He's made up a great mount for this side that goes here to these 2 holes he's put through the chassis. And we're going to do the same thing here to a bar coming across here. We've already got the one at the back, as you can see, or the front I should say. And that's today's job, just to tack it in and get the motor perfectly in its real position. What's your thing? You're just designing this on the fly, are you?
So, something like that. And then we got 4 big bolts on the motor here, and we'll build a plate, so
okay.
Something which will come down and pick up. We could weld this to there simply, but you know, you can almost flex that with your hand a bit.
Yep.
So it'll just want to...
How will you attach that to the chassis rail here?
We'll put a plate over that, and we'll put some crush tubes in there, like that. And these will be welded to both this side of the chassis and the outside. So we're actually using the whole box section. If we put a bolt there now, we'll make like that in no time because they're so thin.
Oh, it'll bow?
It'll bow. Yep. We'll just crush the rail. As the weight of the mount's pulling down, the bolts don't want to twist up. If we just weld it to that interface, it's just going to want to peel it. So now it shares the load with this outer skin. We'll weld this to the tube, and this side will be welded to the tube. So we're actually, the structure's a lot stronger. So even though we've got a plate that's bolted here, this is bolted to the plate and it's welded to this side. So
got it.
It's
nice and strong.
It's nice and strong.
Bit hot, was it?
Bit warm, and there it is there. Now we're going to start truing our motor, getting it all dead square. We can still move it off this front mount here because I've just clamped it for the minute.
Yep.
Just because we can still
move it around.
We've got heaps of movement, so we haven't drilled any holes.
Yep.
So we need to get it level, square, and the final mount again.
Which will be around here? Which
will be off this, this is just sort of dummied in there. We'll weld this on so this won't be removable.
Okay.
It's tight on both ends. It's like the arm, you know. I can push down easy on that. But if I hold on to that and try and push down, you try now, you're not going to do it. So it's the same idea.
Okay.
And then we'll just weld off, we'll build a plate for this, and we'll make another one of these somewhere here, maybe like that.
You're a structural engineer.
So no, definitely not. It's a torquey engine, and last thing you want is an engineer going, cut all that out and do it again. Do it once and we'll just, and again, it's only small bits of steel. We're not adding 80 kilos.
No.
There might be a couple of kilos per mount.
There's no problem adding weight to the rear of this car because when we rolled it out the other day, when we wheeled it out, we saw how high the nose was sitting.
For sure. Then we can go the motors in.
Yep.
Next step is axles
and there's a whole lot of next steps after that.
And once we get that, we've got nothing on top of the motor, so you can look at the electrics and where stuff's going to get mounted.
Then I can hear you thinking about axles, how we're going to do that.
I've got an idea.
Suffice to say, we're using the MG inners and the Porsche outers.
I think so.
But how they connect together.
We could, we can get a custom shaft made from, end to end once we just put the inners in, which is doable, expensive, takes a bit of time. So, we're going to put some CVs. It might be so torquey.
It won't be that torquey. It'll be all right. The CVs will deal with it. The torque's similar to the V8.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's just that it comes in a lot lower. Yeah.
I guess from a mechanic point of view, you think of longevity.
This is the double skin. That's the original 1980s early 80s vintage skin, and then this is the fiberglass outer. It just wraps around. You don't even take this panel off. You just go around the outside.
Bolt it on.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Nice and tight. Once we clean it up, we'll just tack our mount on because we may have to come up, come down a little. Then we will have our mount body side done. What wheels are you going to run on this?
What wheels?
Yeah.
Slightly wider.
Yeah.
They're only 225s at the moment, but I think we'll fill out the guards. The problem with these cars is the tyres sit well in from the guard and it just doesn't look so good. So we will go a bit wider on wheels.
We can always trim these down later on.
But we'll be running less offset, so they'll come out further.
Yeah,
so they'll be filling out, they won't be filling in.
Gotcha.
Paint's been put on way too thick here. See this here? Here that runs.
So that'll sit there like that. Come straight down, just across to there.
To 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. And just to clear this, we may just have to put some
spaces.
Some spaces.
So now you're thinking you might use this original. This is one of the original engine mounts.
Yeah.
There's 4 bolts there.
Yep.
So you come off these 3. So what do you think? Drop a plate straight down from there.
We'll get a bit of. We use this the same as the front mount, which worked out well.
That's 4 or 5 mil.
Yeah, I think it's 5 maybe. I'll cut some ears, some sort of long teardrops. It'll brace this box in. And then off this.
Straight down.
Straight down. And then we'll sort of box so it's just not a bit of flat plate. We'll have a plate coming off here which has this.
You wouldn't try and fold this, would you? It'd be too risky. It's not going to unlikely to work. You'd be better just to draw the straight line, cut it,
weld it,
and put a second piece on.
Yeah.
And then maybe an angle to.
Yep, I'll box it in as well, so it'll be.
Okay. Because the rotational force here is the motor as the torque's going, it's twisting forwards and back, so it's putting leverage this way on the plate. So that's good. You're using the whole flat section of the plate.
Yep.
So it's trying to rotate the thing, but it's not going to move on that direction because of the way.
All the mounts will be this design, and they're very stiff mounts.
So what's the point of the bush we've got there at all? What's the reason for it?
Well, solid mounting it, you can get whine, vibration, the typical NVH noise, vibration, harshness. This takes out a bit.
Yeah, but these are very firm bushes. These white line bushes. They're very.
Yep.
If it improves to still carry too much vibration in, can you change out the rubber insert for something softer?
We could definitely.
Just thinking out loud. Yeah.
We could machine up different materials.
Yeah.
I know I've made Delrin bushes before. It's more just when we go to bolt it in, we got a bit of wiggle in the bolt. We can get things in, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
We're putting a mount where Porsche never imagined, so
it'll work.
It'll work.
So if you're a fan of Matt's engineering skills, leave a like right now and leave a comment.
Say, you're not an engineer, you shouldn't be thinking these thoughts. Yeah, or if someone's an engineer that says, hey, what's a better way to do it?
Yeah.
Look, everything's crushed tube, you know? This here, there's a crushed tube in there so you don't squeeze that bush.
Yep.
The suspension arms, there's a steel bush. It's a bit different, but it's all much the same.
Same principle.
So now we can bolt that tight, and we all know that this will last the rest of this electric life.
I know.
So let's go.
Bring out the heavy machinery.
That's it.
Yeah. Looks pretty straight. Close enough. Centre line of the car. It's a little bit offset from the centre, but that looks pretty straight now. Near enough's good enough.
Yeah.
And for people who are no doubt worried about the exposure of this, you know, the high voltage stuff on the back of this, there will be a shield underneath this to come up, and it's not low. It's actually quite high. Even though the wheels are hanging, it's still plenty of clearance there. But there will be a shield under this, of course. And that looks actually really, that'll be fine, I think, don't you? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's definitely
not too low.
We've jacked it up a bit, and
we're still quite a fair way above the wheels, so you wouldn't really want it any lower. But we will have it will definitely need a guard under there.
Yeah. So that'll be our bolt hole for the mount. That's the same diameter, 40 mil as the cotton reel, and it will just sort of taper down. It'll be slim but strong.
Who needs rulers? We just sort of go lick a finger, stick it in the air.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's near enough. What's this thing called? Oh.
Multi grips, the hammer.
It's a hammer.
It's everything but a precise instrument.
Isn't that hot?
No. Yeah, the tip blew off the torch. So we used as much as we could of that.
You sure did. Good job. Steel's not cheap these days, is it?
No, so come out pretty good. Tack that on.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, build the plate off there, and yeah, it'll be good to go. The gusset just perfect, like 90 degrees to it, so it sort of ties back to where this is.
Yep.
So at no point, it's never like a butter knife. I know it's 5 mil thick, but it's flexy. As soon as we box it in, it's got structure, so even it's not going to tie to that, it'll weld to there, which on the other side is gusset. So that's why I put these long, because you'd be surprised. We'd be able to, you can flex that steel quite easy.
Really?
As soon as it's like an I-beam,
Yep.
you know, you can't bend it. Things look correct when they're 90 degrees to each other, you know, chassis, motors, whatever. But, you know, it's going to build the plate out, but I think, you know, really we'll just bring it close.
Yep.
Less steel involved. You know, it's still
Stronger.
got more clearance, stronger. It's
You're the engineer, I agree with you.
no engineers in this shop.
I did engineering at uni.
Yep.
I dropped out second year
Well,
to go motor racing.
you're the engineer then. You're the most senior.
No, I never graduated. I am definitely not the most senior engineer here. Okay, next little challenge. Let's get the seats out. Driver's seat actually works. So I should be able to get to the bolts. It's all the way forward now. That's good. Passenger seat. Give it some power. Yeah, come on. Away you go. Come on. You can do it. Suddenly, the smoke starts escaping from the wires. Now that's not good. The smoke's meant to stay inside the wires.
I'm just gonna
Mark out the centre punch where the holes are. The most effective way of figuring out where the holes are just needs a dirty finger.
The dirtiest there is. Dirty the better. We'll get there. As long as we don't move it.
Yep.
which it's pretty firm.
Yep.
These small ones with the coloured tip are made in New Zealand of all places.
Are they?
Yeah. They're great though. 5mm like that, just
Boom. Straight through 5mm steel.
They stay sharp as well.
This is the near enough, good enough mechanic school.
There's one.
There's one.
Two.
There's two. Yeah. Oh, will it go? Oh, yeah. How good are you? He makes it look easy, doesn't he? How good is that?
Perfect. I might put a gusset and then I can just bolt it on, but it's pretty much good as done. Not being an engineer, it scares me because I don't know what an engineer wants. We'll surely go, oh, that's well and truly tough. So no one wants to redo this stuff.
No.
It takes so long to do it once. You don't want to have to do it again. So
maybe my 928's not going to be 1,300 kilos after all. It's going to be like 1,800.
Yeah, that's right. And the rest. So we'll just put a bit of this on there.
I've got the little bolt. And once it's past this guy, this little pin goes in to secure it.
So now you can push that in. It should go home. Now that's stopped. Yeah, perfect. Just there, that's the witness mark where it sat before.
Yeah.
And this is where the pin is in there. Just because it's rotated a bit.
Yep.
People will probably scream at their computer going,
no,
near enough,
that's
it's
never
not good
gonna
enough.
work.
But just trying this at the moment. It may still have an issue and we go, oh. But
$1,000.
That's $1,000. Anyone can throw money at a car. That's actually easy.
And you've nicely lubed that one as well.
That's it, no leftover parts. we may have done it correct.
Yep.
We'll weld these up and we can put this back in the car so Stu can feel the brake pedal as it should be felt. And so these are essentially a blocking bung. And we can build pressure up in every chamber and bleed it till nothing comes out, and we can check that, yes, it's holding pressure, it feels normal. So we can actually just go this tick.
Right, now I'm going to officially take this car from being a 4-seater to a 2-seater. Why? Because there's a certain weight allowance you're allowed for an EV, and this maximum weight can only be a certain figure, which we're going to be well under anyway, a certain figure less 75 kilos for every passenger. And if we're going from 4 passengers to 2 passengers, that gives us another 150 kilos of allowance. If you've ever sat in the back of a 928, they're better than a 911, but they're not that flash. So we're using this no argument spanner to go from a 4-seater to a 2-seater car. What do you think about the colour? It's not a bad colour, but this paint has to go. Have you seen how bad this paint is? Look at this. Look at these bubbles everywhere. Oh, God. Cannot be fixed. This paint has to go. So, colour. Let's talk about colour. I'm a fan. There are 3 colours I really like. This one's called Crystal Green Metallic. This one's called Wimbledon Green. And this one's called Mint Green. They're all 3 genuine Porsche colours from the 70s and 80s. And Mint Green, I think it'll be a bit easy because it's not a metallic colour, it's just a plain colour. And you remember back, well, you don't remember because you don't remember the 70s and 80s, but I do. Cars came in really weird colours. These came in like a baby poo brown and nice lavender and buttercup yellow and lime green and stuff. They were just popular in the day. But now, it's not. Every car, you look out there, what do you see? A whole sea of white, silver, grey and black.
That's it.
Boring as bat poo. Let's ask the viewers to decide. Option 1, Crystal Green Metallic. Option 2, Wimbledon Green. How nice is that in a metallic?
That'd look good, yeah.
Or option 3, Mint Green. A very classic 911 colour. Sometimes seen on 968s as well. So it is a genuine nice Porsche colour. Yeah. Okay, viewers, tell us in the comments. Now, one of the things that made the Porsche 928 so distinctive for its day in the 1970s was having a rear windscreen wiper, a big long one that travelled flatly across the rear screen. Very innovative for its time. I'm not really a fan of them. I think they mess with the lines of the car. I'm going to save a couple of kilos by getting rid of that and the mechanism above and just tidy up the clean line at the back of the car. If I want to clean my back windscreen, I'll do it with a chamois. Sorry, purists. 2, So, totally superfluous now. I just like tidying things up. It's just looking so much nicer. I probably lost 5-6 kilos worth of junk out of the car today. I can't believe the lengths they went to back in the 80s when they fitted alarms to these cars. They cut in everywhere. It's not as if these cars were stolen a lot. Boy oh boy, that stupid immobiliser just had its little tendrils in the whole bloody car. So as I survey the desolate wasteland that is the inside of my 928, let's talk about seats. These beauties are one of the nicest things about 928s. They don't look particularly comfortable, but they really are, and I've done 1000k trips fresh as a daisy at the end of the day, so it would be nice to keep them. On the other hand, they are 40 years old, the leather is cracked here, and the electrics in this one don't work very well. It'll go backwards, but it doesn't want to go forwards. I'm sorely tempted, for a number of reasons, to get a nice set of Recaros, nice Recaro recliners, new. I don't like the blue. I like green cars, and blue and green should never be seen without another colour in between. So I think we might actually lose the blue completely, because there's something that doesn't smell very nice under this seat. Ancient and organic. So I want to get it out. This electric mechanism is not working. It goes backwards, but won't go forwards. And it has to go forwards to get to the back bolts. So we're going to have to do something there. I might have to pull this switch apart and see if I can fix it to get the thing out. Behold, Mr. Stumpy, the world's most practical Phillips head screwdriver. The camera can see it even if I can't. 0.5. That's going backwards. 4 ohms. I don't think it's going to cut it. No, I think it's a bit corroded inside, so the easiest way is just to swap it with one of the others, because I think they're all the same part number. Let's just check. 0.8 of an ohm. Perfect. That's good. This one, 5.3 ohms. No good. This one, 6.0 ohms. No good. Just having 6 ohms resistance there is going to be enough to be the difference between this thing working and not working. That's too much load. So if we pull it apart, you can see what I mean. So it's just a simple rocker switch, and I'm betting these contacts here. Yeah, you can see it there, look. The carbon build-up on that little pin there. So that needs to be cleaned up. The thing is, everything in the 928's like this. You know, this is not one isolated incident. The whole car's going to be like that, so do you actually bother? I've got a temporary battery in, so... Oh, it's trying. It's going! 5mm Allen key and a 10mm ring spanner. Yes, beautiful. And the seat's out. Alright. 40-year-old security pass. Yeah, still got chocolate in it. And there's another 5 kilos of stuff that we don't need. Must be down to about 800 kilos by now. It's looking a lot cleaner.
Definitely.
And look, all my wiring's looking neat as a button. Well, comparatively.
Yeah.
Well, a day that started so well didn't end quite so well. Now, we thought that when we dropped the car on the ground, the axles would be further away from the springs, but they've actually got closer. That motor's got to move. It's got to go forward a couple of inches.
So 1 step forward and 6 step backwards, wasn't it, kind of? We know that we've got to trim all around this and make a bit more space, but it's fouling the spring there. We can easily put skinnier springs on, but the angle's still not right to get to the hub here. It's still too...
It'd work, but it's very severe.
Yeah.
Like it...
It's not good. Now, in our efforts to get the motor as high as possible, and we've actually brought it back a little bit too far, so...
We can reuse a lot of it and just...
It'll give us a chance to tidy up all this, cut around here, get rid of more of this, make it, which we knew we had to do anyway.
Absolutely. We could run original springs. We did talk about it earlier on. We may have to go smaller diameter springs, but it'd be nice to run those. Not an issue, it's more the drive shaft angles, but
Yep.
we've got heaps of ground clearance, so we can go lower now. We were worried that, there's going to be no ground clearance, but it's really not a big issue. But we'll get there.
So with that in mind, when we found that, we thought, okay, it's a bit of too big a job for today. So let's just have a quick win with the Brakemaster cylinder that we rebuilt, which we put in the car and bled very successfully. And you're probably wondering, why is it out of the car again? Do you want to explain? As best you can, maybe?
No.
No. We were going so well with the bleed of the master cylinder, it was going great guns, wasn't it?
That was good. We started getting a good pedal.
All this fluid's going in, but nothing's coming out. Well, it was coming out. Just managed to put 2 litres of it into the brake booster. Suffice to say, we didn't buy a new seal kit for it, but I think we should because, you know, Matt found one of them looked quite serviceable, but we do have a leak. And in any case, let's just get a new seal kit. Hello 928RS. If it doesn't work, the whole thing's going in the bin. Okay, new seal kit. We'll just write off the day.
So look, all in all, it's still been a good couple of days. We have achieved a lot. Matt only spot welded those mounts as he thought they'd need some adjustment. So the motor's got to come out again anyway, almost certainly not for the last time. The annoying thing will be the 3-week wait we have for the seal kit to turn up. As usual, it gets halfway across the world in a flash and then sits at the local post office for a week or 2. In the next episode, Matt fabricates some drive shafts and I start looking at the most frightening part of all, the loom. So we'll see you then, and thank you for hanging out with us through a very long episode. It's been emotional.